Hello, Vista students. I wanted to give you a quick tip on our weekly discussion question, pretty much what they are and why we're doing them. So let's take a look. As you'll recall from my bio, my doctoral work is in cognitive development. So here's a quick tip for you. Pure knowledge does not equal development. So if, as an example, we read the book, take a lot of notes, study hard, and then put all of it in a bottom drawer, we haven't developed, you haven't changed. Let me give you a tip on how we'll execute development. The key to real adult development is the acquisition of knowledge, but then the use of that knowledge, so from experience. Now here's a tip for us in academia. There's a lot of research out there that suggests that the brain cannot differentiate between real and imagined experiences. So if you acquired knowledge and on the job went out and used that knowledge, then you have physical, real experience. However, in academia, how will you use that knowledge? Well, again, the brain cannot differentiate between real and imagined experiences. So we give you an opportunity in the discussions to reflect, to visualize, to critically think about what you're studying, put it into the context of your past jobs or your current job, where this knowledge would have been applied somewhere in your past. Also key here in the discussion, you can learn from other people's experience. So as you read your colleagues, other classmates' discussions, think about, reflect on, visualize how the knowledge that we're studying for that week actually was used in the real world, in the workplace by your colleagues. All right? So here's what I would expect. So what do you need to do to actually reflect, to critically think about, consider the topic? Four main elements in your discussion that I'll look for every week. Shared experience. I would like you to take the topic, the subject matter that we're studying for that week, and apply it to your experience. Write about where it would have worked, where it did work, where you wish it had worked in the real world. Always take your abstract knowledge from the textbook, lectures, learning material, and reflect it back onto real world experiences. Here's another key one. Every week in your discussion answer and your post to colleagues, demonstrate knowledge. This is fairly easy to do. We'll want to get away from pure opinion and get into substantial knowledge. This is not just academia, this is in the professional world. You'll want to make your decisions and write in your professional position based on real knowledge, not just pure opinion. So how do you demonstrate knowledge? Reflect back, cite theories, notions, abstract ideas, things from the textbook, things that you researched online. Bring that knowledge, vividly show the knowledge specifically pertinent to the topic that we're talking about. Another one is, as citing your knowledge, references. Every week I'll look for, can you reference back to a substantial supporting point for whatever you're saying in your discussions? So whether it's our textbook or something you found online from your research, you'll want to cite that. Again, we want to get away from opinion and get into real, practical, usable knowledge. So cite references. Where did you develop the idea that you bring forward in your discussion? And another one that's key here for you, and I'll look every week, are you actually engaged in a discussion, or are you just writing a quick summary? The key that I find is, are you asking questions? So if you are reading your colleague's post, ask them questions, ask them where they got that idea, ask them for supporting evidence, ask them how these abstract notions, ideas, and theories actually are working in the real workplace. So I'm looking for questions that you'll ask in your discussions. Now, key here, everyone's interested. Well, how will I be graded on my discussions? I basically break it down into a few areas. Everyone has to answer the question, so I look at your question. Your answer to the question? What am I looking for? Your understanding of the course material. That's your knowledge. What do you know? How have you shown what you know? The other one is critical thinking. How are you critically thinking about the topic? That means how are you demonstrating a clear thought process around the knowledge and how you would apply it? The next major category, 30% of all the points that I'll give you every week are based on your replies. I'm looking at the same thing, knowledge and critical thinking in your replies. And then, of course, if you look at that fourth line on the grading summary here, I'm looking at how well you write. And again, this is not for academia, purely for academia. This is real world experience. Every written document that you produce in the workplace, whether you're writing a report to your immediate manager or the department head or VP of operations, you'll want to provide a professional document. And I'll give you more tips on how to write a professional document. But for right now, when I look at your discussions, I'm looking at how well they're written. And then the last two key assessment points, your timing. We always want to get into the discussion at least by Wednesday, then have two responsive posts at least by Sunday. Here is a quick tip on timing. I have found my most successful strong students probably read, study over the weekend, and then post their answer to the question Sunday night or at least by Monday. That gives their colleagues ample time to read their post and respond. It starts a discussion. If, however, you wait until Sunday night to put your answer in, then one, I suggest you're really limiting your development opportunity because your colleagues won't have time to read and respond to your post. All right, so now, when would you do this? Every time. Consider every post you make is as a professional document in the workplace. Whether you're writing a memo, you're writing an email, you're doing something at work, you would want to have everything spelled correctly, proper grammar, written correctly, well thought out, and well supported. All right, so when do you do it? Every time. All right, so let's take a quick look as we get started, into our discussions at Vista. Remember, everyone has to answer the question. So you have one post, it has to be in by Wednesday. Another one, you have to have two additional responsive posts by Sunday. That means get out there, take a look at what other folks are saying, read your colleagues' comments, and respond to them. Please reflect on, reference your experience. You'll remember, you want to tie what we're studying into real world workplace experience. All right, clearly demonstrate an understanding of the material. You'll want to show in your discussions that you know the material, so show what you know. All right, support your views, cite references. This is critical. And again, not just for academia, this is critical in the professional workplace. As you start to write reports and make suggestions in the workplace, you'll want to make those well supported, not pure opinion. There has to be some base for what you're saying. All right, so cite some references in your discussions, and then keep the discussion going. How do we do that? Ask probing questions of your colleagues. All right, everybody, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful, powerful time in the discussions, and I'll see you online.